I'm left-handed. Oh well. That's a lot easier than trying to do it in the vise when it's cold. Not surprisingly. That's too long. Oh no, maybe there we go. Oh, that's annoying. It comes. It's right on the edge for this bolt hole, which means the bracket's going to have to go in front. I tapped it, and of course that only works if you're doing it this way. Okay, I'll do it clearance later, but for now. So here we go. An amazing bit of bracket. I'll trim it all off when I finish. It's got to be powder coated and stuff anyway, or painted at least. So my M8 into there. I think I'm going to have to shorten this. The temporary skyhook off. So yeah, some kind of bracket up here with the next piece. Well, I couldn't find a piece of aluminium, but this piece of steel I used to make this one, actually I didn't really need to heat it. It bends surprisingly easily. So I'm just thinking something like that. The question is whether the tank will fit. So I'm going to cut that off and then make sure it just seems like it feels like a really noddy bracket to go on there to hold that, but I don't know. You're not going to see most of it. The tank's, yeah, let's try. Let's see, and I want that straight from about there. So I think something just about something like that. So what I'll do is I'll mark this hole. I'll bolt that up to hold it, and then I'll just slide the tank on and make sure that doesn't hit anything. I don't think it will, but we'll see in a few minutes. Let's see what this looks like. It needs just a little bit more bend. How does that look? Terrible. Does it fit under here? You're on. Ah, it's close to that. Okay, with a bit more bend on it, I think it's going to be free of that. Is it? It's going to have more of a square kink in it than a curve, but that's okay. The thing I don't like is it's not really braced very well forwards and backwards. How about if it's one up and down and one facing that way, maybe? Ugh, that looks horrible. It just looks wrong. Now I'm going to carry on with this. This welded onto the frame at the top will stop it going backwards and forwards, but I just need to change the shape of that curve a bit. So I printed out the little spigot for the crankcase breather because I couldn't figure out a way to print this in one go, and there isn't a way to glue this stuff together very easily. So I'm going to try. Why is it so dark? I'm going to try use the soldering iron to weld this stuff together and see how that goes. So let's see how it goes. Like it's going to work. So I will check it I'll seal everything up and I'll check it for air tightness when I've got to put the end on too, of course. And I think I'm going to put some sealant around here and then also try to do the soldering iron thing. So we'll see how that goes. I've been held up by waiting for parts. I did order some new of these Zerlica, what are they called? Urtica clips. But I also ordered some of these rubbers just in case, and they've been held up in shipping along with a lot of other stuff on our little island. So yeah, so I'm going to put this all together. I've cleaned up the throttle bodies, I've cleaned up the fuel pressure regulator and blown it out. I've checked that the throttle switch works. Interestingly, it knows when it's at full throttle and when it's at closed throttle. It's got both positions, although I couldn't find on the circuit diagram whether it actually uses the full throttle one. The other thing I did was I just made a slight tweak on these screws, and I tried the ball bearing trick that another YouTuber had mentioned. Put a ball bearing down inside each of these and open very, very slowly, open the throttle and make sure the ball bearings fall through at pretty much the same time, which they didn't, but now they do. So yeah, that was quite a useful trick. The other thing I'm going to do that's not standard is I'm going to put some, see this, I'm going to put some gasket goo around the where the rubbers go, because the way this is printed is there are basically stripes along every. It's like Vantablack, this stuff, you can't see anything. Anyway, I'm going to put some gasket goo around here and then put the rubbers on and then tighten up the Otica clips, put it all back together basically, and then I'll put the whole thing on the bike later together. In fact, I might not clamp up the bottom one yet until it's on the bike, just in case. But I am going to glue up these. So that's the first thing. Is just going to put, this is Loctite 5910 premium black silicone, and I'm just going to squidge it around here. I probably should have worn gloves, but I'm not. So what I'm going to do, I'll squidge them all. And then I'll quickly clean up afterwards. So yeah, I guess I'm being super cautious just to fill up these little ridges, because could get an air leak. I mean, the pressures aren't very high, so I don't know. I think I will, when I melt the end on, I think I will try and pressure test it just to satisfy my own curiosity. So these go on, making sure I get them right way. They're different diameters, smaller at, oh, there we go. The small one goes on, the big one goes on the airbox. Big one being 50 millimeters and the smaller one being 48.5. So hopefully it's reasonably warm in here. These will just push on. That isn't a noise I wanted to hear. Now, the trouble is these clips do actually restrict the rubber a little bit. So can I put these on afterwards? I think I can. Yes, I can. Right. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to close the box up yet until I'd got these on. There. Just in case I made a mistake. So let's take all these clips off. Get black goo all over the place. Is that the small one or the big one? Big one. Two. Another crack. I can't really get this in a way where you can see it. Let's try it this way around. So they're really not that special, but they look like end cutters really, but they do fit on they are the proper tool, I believe, for this. And can we get it in a position where you can see it? Basically just crimp this together and hope it works. Wow, it takes a lot of pressure. Cool. Okay, I don't think that's going to come undone. I've got this black stuff everywhere now. I realised as I was putting this video together that I missed out the final piece where I ended up with the air filter. So in the end I went for a straight bracket here and a bracket here that kind of matches the angle of the frame there, so kind of like, you know, Ducati trellis or whatever. I am thinking of doing the frame red because no one else has got a red one. Or at least I haven't seen one, so that's the plan for the frame colour at the minute, and I'm nearly ready to take it apart to send it off. I've got a few more pieces to fit. I'm waiting for an expansion tank that I have bought from the guy in Belgium, and then the last major puzzle is where to put all the electronics, and I've cut this plate out here for mounting under the frame, and I was hoping to be able to get these old-fashioned relays in, but these are too big. The tank hits them, and I could get maybe the starter relay here or something, but I might have to mount them underneath somehow. Gonna puzzle that one out for a bit. And I have vague memories now of when I saw the one in Estonia, that he actually told me that he'd raised the tank, and the reason he raised the tank was to give room for some stuff underneath it. So anyway, that's not an option now because everything else is fixed. So I'm gonna have, there's plenty of space, right? There's a huge great big gap under here to put stuff. So maybe I'll end up making a box, or who knows? I'm not quite there yet with that. And the coils, these chunky great big coils, I think these will fit in this space here as well. Though I might print, I might hack this bracket around, which seems a shame for an original part, or I might just print something to hold the coils up in that space there. So I think they'll go there. The battery will go in the battery box. The ECU I think will fit under here, under the seat here, but I need to make sure that I can get the wires in for that, that the wiring harness is long enough, because I don't really fancy extending that, although I could. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm still pressing ahead to try and get it started, because I said I have no idea of the engine's history or anything. First thing was to get the air filter all working and everything, and that's ready to go back in. I've just put the airbox back in again just to see how it all lines up, and it's all looking good, ready for the whatever I did with it, ready for the reconditioned throttle bodies. So yeah, that's it for today. I was going to show, I actually did some welding. So this is my welding. It's only tacked for now, but I will weld, when I take it all apart, I'll finish that weld off. I've ground a few tabs off to put this plate on that aren't needed. At least I hope they're not needed. So I think once I've figured out how to mount this stuff, I'm almost there in terms of, yeah, being able to get the frame coated. Question is whether I do that first before doing the electrics. Decisions. Plus, with everyone in lockdown, it might not be possible to get the frame coated anyway. It's not something I plan to do myself. So yeah, I'm going to finish this video here. Yeah, I was going to show you some welding, but unfortunately we had a power cut, and I ran out of time to do that now. So so yeah, that's it for this episode. Next one, hopefully make some progress with how to do this stuff here. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you're all safe and well, and yeah, see you on the next one. Okay, bye bye.